Hey everyone, welcome. So, you've got this powerful technical book in your hands, and you're ready to seriously level up your skills. In this quick guide, we're actually going to skip chapter 1 for a minute. Instead, we're starting with the strategy guide, the how to use this book section that almost everybody ignores. Think of it like a pro gamer's walkthrough to help you master the material way faster. Come on, be honest. When you get a new gadget or a super dense book, what's your first move? Do you dive right in and just start pushing buttons? Yeah, me too. It's totally natural. We all want to get straight to the good stuff, not read the instructions, right? But here's the thing. In this case, that intro section isn't just a boring manual. It's actually where the author hid all the cheat codes. We're talking strategic advantages that'll help you understand everything on a way deeper level and, more importantly, avoid some major headaches. Trust me, paying attention for the next few minutes is going to save you a ton of time down the road. Okay, let's get into it. The best way to think about this book's design is to see it as a user interface, or a UI. Every single font style, every little icon, it's all there for a reason. They're all clues designed to tell your brain exactly what kind of information you're looking at. So, here's the legend for our UI. This table is your decoder ring. At a quick glance, you can see how all these different text styles have very specific jobs. It might seem like a small detail now, but training your brain to see these patterns is a total game changer. First up, italics. Think of this like a little signal flare. Whenever you see italicized text, it should send a little ping to your brain that says, hey, pay attention, this is something specific. It could be a brand new term that's about to be defined, a URL, or a really important file name. Next, we've got this, the constant width font. This is basically your code vision. The second you see this typeface, even if it's just sitting in the middle of a regular sentence, you know you're looking at a piece of the machine. A variable, a function, a keyword, it's all code. Simple as that. Now this one is a direct command. When you see text in constant width bold, it's not a suggestion. It means type these exact characters in this exact order. No wiggle room, no substitutions. This is a command you have to type out literally. And this is the perfect flip side to that. Constant width italic is a placeholder. It's the book's way of saying, okay, right here, I need you to pop in your own info. It might be your personal file name, maybe your IP address, or some other custom value. It's a blank that you have to fill in yourself. So beyond just the text, the book also uses these great visual cues. Think of this first one like a green light. When you see this tip element, it's the author basically giving you a pro tip, a shortcut, a best practice, or just an easier way to get something done. It's pure gold. Then there's the blue note element. This is kind of like a helpful little sidebar conversation. It's not a critical command or some scary warning. It's just providing some useful background, a bit of extra context, or maybe an interesting fact to help you understand the main topic a little better. And finally, we have the yellow light. When you see a warning or caution block, you need to stop what you're doing and read it carefully. This is the author throwing up a big red flag about a potential problem or a super common mistake. You absolutely cannot ignore these if you want to avoid trouble. All right, now you know the visual language of the book. So let's talk about the most active part of all this, the code examples. Think of this as the actual gameplay. But, like any good game, there are some rules of engagement you need to know before you jump in. The publisher is actually really generous here. They want you to use pieces of code from the book in your own projects and docs. You can even quote it when you're answering a question online. But there's a line, right? You can't just copy and paste a huge chunk of it, and you definitely can't try to sell their examples. It's all about fair use. And I gotta say, this is a really cool community-focused move. While you don't have to give them credit when you use a little snippet of code, they say they'd appreciate it if you did. It's just good practice, and it helps other people find this awesome resource too. So if you do decide to give attribution, here's all it takes. It's super simple. Just the title, author, publisher, and the ISBN. The slide shows you a perfect example. It's a really quick, professional way to give a little nod to the source. Okay. I need you to listen very, very carefully to this next part. We are moving from helpful tips to a critical, high-stakes warning. I'm not exaggerating when I say this is the single most important piece of information in this entire guide. Seriously, this is not a drill. Let that sink in for a second. To make all the examples in the book practical and verifiable, the Bitcoin addresses, the transactions, all of it, for the most part, it's real. You can actually look them up on the blockchain. But this creates a very specific and very serious danger. This is a direct quote, and it is an absolute non-negotiable rule. I'm going to say it again. Do not send money to any of the addresses in this book. Why? Because the private keys you need to access that money are either printed right there in the book for everyone to see, or they've been destroyed. Let's be crystal clear about what happens if you ignore this. 1. You send some Bitcoin to an address from the book. 2. The private key for that address is public knowledge. 3. Someone else with the book sees it, uses the key, and takes your Bitcoin. Or if the key was destroyed, your Bitcoin is just gone permanently. There is no undo button here. All right, let's all take a deep breath. Now that we have covered that incredibly important safety warning, let's look ahead. Because finishing this book isn't the end of your journey, not at all. It's really just the beginning, and there are some great resources out there to help you keep the momentum going. So the publisher, O'Reilly, has this whole online learning platform. It's an entire ecosystem that's built for continuous learning, with everything from live courses and learning pads to these really cool interactive coding environments. So when you're ready to go even deeper, you know where to look. And there you have it. You are now fully equipped with a strategy guide. You know how to read the book's interface, you understand the rules of the game for using the code, and you are definitely aware of that one critical warning. The path forward is clear. So the only question left is, now that you know the rules, what will you create?